See, Red Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Question on the table today. With what we saw in the second half of the season, do the Bulls have their core? Now, if you are new to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us as always, man. This is the only channel talking Bulls daily, how Chicago Bulls fans talk, so make sure you stay in tune with us, man. Listen, Chicago Bulls second half of the season was a very interesting season, right? They have a great run that they end up going on, and it sent the Tankers into a bit of a tizzy with the spot that we're in right now. But the one thing that you can't say post-trade deadline, the one thing that you can't say post-All-Star break is that you didn't see some serious growth and development from pieces on this team, i.e. Josh Giddey, i.e. Coby White, i.e. Matas Buzelis. And we're going to focus on those three for this video. And the question that I have to you is, do you feel like the Chicago Bulls actually have their core? Do you feel like the Bulls have a core three that they can look at heading into next season and say, this is somebody that we can build around. This is somebody that we can add pieces to. And it makes you a little bit more aggressive in the upcoming draft. And I want to start, of course, with Josh Giddey. I mean, listen, Josh Giddey, what we saw this season from him was a ball-out performance in the second half of the season. 21 points, 10.7 rebounds, 9.3 assists, being that double-double or triple-double guy that we all believe that he could be. But the thing that I thought really changed about his game in the second half of the season was the fact that defensively, he was much more engaged, much more locked in, which made him playable in the fourth quarter of games. I thought that as a team, the Bulls played better defense overall, but that Josh Giddey was actually a big part leading the way in the team having that commitment on the defensive end. Whenever Matas Buzelis or Coby White was out of position, and Coby White very similar in that role as well, Matas was ready to speak out. Giddey was ready to speak out, and he called out guys at just about every turn if they were missing assignments. Heck, there was a game at the end of the season where we were absolutely eviscerating. I think it was either the Portland Trailblazers or Charlotte, one or the other. And Josh Giddey was pissed that Matas Buzelis was out of position and allowed Miles Bridges to get to the bucket for an easy layup, right? Like, those are the things that I think really do give me a little bit more faith that Giddey might be a piece here long-term that could be something that the Bulls could actually build around. Not just a nice piece to have on the team, a nice point guard piece, but we saw games by the end of that season where Josh Giddey was giving you 27, 16, and 10 nights. You know what I mean? It was a consistent 17 to 25 points per game in that stretch in the second half of the season. And when he's giving you that offensively, while still giving you some really good defensive numbers, still giving you, of course, the rebounding numbers, I thought he was a very aggressive rebounder throughout the second half of the season. I thought that he closed out games extremely well, facilitating the basketball. I think that is one of the three pieces that you can build around. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Do you feel like Chicago Bears have a core forming here? Do you like the look of having Josh Giddey being kind of the head of the snake on that? I'll be down in the comments talking with you as well. The next name I think that is going to be interesting is Matas Buzelis. And this is the young guy, right? This is the young cat where you got to ask yourself, okay, what we saw in the second half of the season was some inconsistency, and if we're being real, more inconsistency than not, right? I mean, there was some 9-point games, some 5-point games. Really, just it was kind of that 9-point games and 5-point games that creep in there, and of course, some poor shooting nights from Matas Buzelis that really put the Bulls in a tough light. But post All-Star break, when he actually started to get minutes, Matas ended up averaging 13 points, 4.8 rebounds, 1.9 assists. And I thought that was very interesting when looking at Matas's game post All-Star break and, of course, post trade deadline when he started to get more of the minutes there, that in those games where Matas is really getting himself going. It's really just a confidence booster for the team overall. And I mean, seeing that from a rookie, if we got to see him with more minutes to start the season, you might be talking about Matas Buzelis as somebody who is in the running for offensive rookie of the year, who is in the running offensive rookie of the year. What the heck am I talking about? Who is in the running for rookie of the year? My fault. I'm still in football mode sometimes. Who is in the running for multiple different accolades, right? Like, I think it's going to be tough for him to make an all NBA rookie team this season just because everything ended up starting so late, especially making an all NBA first rookie team. Maybe he sneaks in on the all second team, but making a first team, I think, is going to be incredibly tough for the young fella. And if we're being honest, right, I think that the focus on that is some of the inconsistencies that we did see down the second half of the season. The fact that, right, when you got in some big moments, right, and you needed to rely on him, sometimes he wasn't there, sometimes he was. But you also have to take into account that he was a rookie. And again, if you're talking about seeing the development, even though you just fired your player development coach, seeing the development from this young man, seeing how the confidence never wavered. Like, I look at Matas as a piece that not only is a part of a core, but could be the heartbeat of the core. Does not mean that he will be the best piece on that core, but to me, I think that he could be the heartbeat of a core here in Chicago. If you're talking about Giddey, Matas, maybe Coby White is a part of that as well, right? Like, there has to be that one guy that's not going to take the nonsense, that's not going to take any flack, that's going to stand up for his teammates. And I think in his rookie year, right, you saw Matas do moments of that, but you're a rookie. You're just trying to figure it out. You're just trying to figure out the game. You're dealing with everybody yelling at you at every turn. And so to me, I think that when you see Matas now, like, coming into this second season, what kind of confidence is going to be gained there? I do feel like you have 2/3 of a core here in place. And to me, that's the part that I think actually excites me about kind of where this team is going. When I look at these two names, and Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis, I think that we saw Matas improve defensively a ton over the stretch. And when I talk about, right, the consistencies, it's really just the percentages. Matas would have games where he was shooting above 50%. He would also have games, especially from that three-point line, where he was struggling to shoot above 15%, right? And those are the games to me where if you can clean those up heading into the second year, the fact that we saw Matas break through his rookie wall, we haven't seen a rookie break through the rookie wall in quite some time. Remember when Artūras hit it? He just hit it. Coby White hit it. He just hit it. Patrick Williams has never gotten over his rookie wall. Like, there's so many of these pieces that have come in here that haven't gotten over the rookie wall. To see Matas be able to get to the other side, be able to go out there and be able to contribute a ton. And when he got more opportunity, he took advantage of it. I think that that is great from a Bulls fan's perspective. And I do think that you've got 2/3 of the core here. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. How do you feel about Matas Buzelis being a part of this main core? And what do you think it means for the Bulls moving forward? Here's the one that I think is going to be a little bit tougher. Now, Coby White, a lot of people are going to be on the Coby White bandwagon here. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. Coby White, of course, player of the month, 1 month in there. First player since Jordan to win back-to-back player of the weeks. Scored phenomenally in the second half of the season, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists per game. There's some games you don't win without Coby White being a part of those games. And I think offensively, he's a dog that you want to see. And I would love to see the relationship with him and Giddey and Matas continue to grow. The one question that I do have about Coby White, though, is when you look at the end of this season, when you look at how the season comes to a close, Coby White's a player that needs the ball in his hands a ton to be successful. And I think that it does. It has to do with him being a ball dominant guard who gets downhill and scores the basketball, right? That's what you want to see him do. But you weren't able to see him do that in that play-in game, which is now the 3rd play-in game in a row outside of that one Atlanta game, but versus Miami, where you've kind of gone into it and said, okay, Coby, we need you to be an X factor. We need to rely on you. We need you to be the guy, and Coby White has not been that guy. Now, it doesn't mean that I take away what he did in the second half of the season. We watched that. I think that was great. Maybe Miami was just a bad game. Guess what? Those happen. That's why Trae Young is not in the playoffs right now, because he had multiple bad games in a row that he got hot at the end of the game and kind of figured it out. But for the most part, he was bad throughout the game. I think you saw a little bit of that in Coby White in the play-in, and it does make me question the longevity or the ability for him to get over that mountain that is the play-in tournament heading into the playoffs, right? Because if we get into a playoff series, hey, you can't This ain't the moment for you to have the off shooting nights or the off series. Not to say it never happens, but usually those teams end up on the losing end when you have a guy who has the off series or the off shooting night, like we see Coby White have in these big pressure moments, right? When he went up against OKC, struggled. When he went up against Miami, outside of that fourth quarter run where he ends up hitting, I think, 12 points in the fourth quarter, you saw him struggle. Didn't shoot the basketball well versus Cleveland in the second half of the season, right? Did have a couple of really good games versus LA. So it kind of depends on the matchup. But my point in all of this is, can you go into the future knowing you're going to have to pay Coby White a pretty penny here coming up, going, hey, you know, like, we believe that this guy is going to be the lead scorer for this three coming up. We believe that he's going to be the focal point, because if you don't believe that Coby White's going to be the guy with the ball in his hand, the ball dominant guy, he's not a catch and shoot guy. Coby's best when he's got the ball in his hand, he's getting to the basket, he's getting fouled, he's getting to the rim, and he's scoring. And then he can add shots off of that. He can take the three-pointer that can be the dagger. Coby can shoot. But the difference here is, I don't think that Coby is a shooter. Coby can shoot, but he is not a shooter. And to me, a shooter is somebody who could just stand out there, spark up and spray, come off a screen no matter what, boom, catch and shoot, here we go, pop it, and now that's a bucket, right? Like, I don't think that Coby White is that. I think there is a lot of that three-point shot that is created by him getting inside, by him seeing the ball go in, by him knocking down some of those mid-range shots, knocking down the floater, right? Like, and that's okay. That just means he's a different kind of scorer. But if you don't feel like he can be that guy when you're going up against teams like Miami, like Boston, like OKC, I do wonder if that is the third part of your core. Not to say that I'm just ready to ship Coby White off, but I do wonder if you're going into this draft, and Hayes talked about it a little bit with me on Locked On Bulls today, right? Are you looking at a Trey Johnson and possibly being aggressive in the draft and trading up and including Coby White in something where, listen, Coby's value is not going to be higher than this unless he starts to figure things out in the playoffs heading into next season, which is still young, very much could. But you're right, like, his draft value is at an all-time high right now. Could you see the Bulls being aggressive and maybe including Coby White in a bit of a trade? I don't think that's out of the question, because the one thing we know about this NBA is scoring's replaceable. What else do you bring? Now, as far as Coby White goes, I do think he brings a lot else. I like the intensity that he shows on the defensive end, right? Very similar in that Giddey. I think they have really good team defensive chemistry together. I like this core together, but you do have to ask yourself if there's an opportunity for you to get better with two of the three pieces, in my mind, feeling like, yes, you have two of the three pieces. Maybe you need to find that third if you don't believe that Coby is that third. Could this be the offseason where you are aggressive? And should this be the offseason where you are aggressive and try to trade up? And you know what? I think for a couple of reasons, you kind of have to. Let me know how you guys feel about Coby White in the comments below. I'm going to tell you coming up to finish out this video why the Bulls probably need to be aggressive this offseason. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's finish it out here, right? Based on the plan that AK, if we can call this a plan, it's concepts of a plan. If we can call this a plan, based on the plan that AK is putting out there, it feels like you're not going to acquire a ton of draft capital. You're not going to try and build this team through the draft. You are going to try and compete, be competitive now. And if that is the case, then don't do it. If the lottery comes and you see that you're sitting in the 10th spot or the 11th spot or 15, trade up. There is some talent in this draft that I would be very, very intrigued to see on the Chicago Bulls. Like I mentioned, Hayes brought up Trey Johnson. I think that if you look at, I said Derek Queen, I would love to have him on the team, a team with Derek Queen, Matas Buzelis, Josh Giddey. Maybe you hold on to Coby White in that situation, but however you get it done, trade up in this draft. And I know we don't see that a ton in the NBA, but here's my point in this. You're not trying to go to the bottom of the draft to try and get a top 5 piece, right? You're not, bottom of the standings to try and get a top 5 piece. You're trying to be competitive. Okay, you're trying to be competitive. That's fine. Let's be competitive. I'm here for you being competitive. I think more championships, in fact, I know more championships are won by not tanking than have been won by tanking. You want to know why? Because no one's won a ring from tanking yet. It just hasn't happened. You've got some fun teams. You got some teams that are at the top of the West or at the top of the East that do include some tank additions, but nobody's won by tanking. You usually win by acquiring top flight players. And with what AK said, right, about, oh, well, you know, we're really looking to go out there and add to the team via free agency in 2026. And so I'm asking for patience from the fan base. No, you don't get the patience from the fan base. And because of your plan, there's no point in even having the patience of the fan base. There's no point in even being patient with this, because your goal is to win as many games as possible every given year. So put yourself in a position to go win as many games as possible every given year, whether that is going out and trading for a bigger name, trading for, I doubt a Kevin Durant is on the table for the Bulls in that situation, but trading for a Kevin Durant, if you want to match Coby White's money, and they're willing to do that with a couple of first-round picks, right? If you want to go out and trade for Domantas Sabonis, if you want to go out and trade whatever it is, be aggressive in what you're doing, because it's the only thing that makes sense for the plan that you're trying to run. The biggest problem I have with the Chicago Bulls right now is the plan that they have is basically, we're going to get lucky and figure out what happens after we get lucky. That's not a plan. That is, okay, let's just sit on our hands and see if they get warm. And to me, that makes no sense for what you're trying to do. And if you feel, right, because we know what AK feels, right? Like, we heard the final press conference. More than likely what AK is going to do is pay Coby White, pay Artūras, pay Josh Giddey. You're going to have Matas here on his rookie deal. The conversation around Vooch now is that maybe you're trading Vooch, maybe you're not. I don't know. They're saying trade deadline all of a sudden. I'm like, trade deadline? What's up with the offseason? But you've got all these question marks around all of these pieces that you're going to go out there and pay. So be aggressive in the draft. If you don't want to go get a star, be aggressive in the draft. Say, listen, we've got 2 first-round picks. We traded them for this. We'll trade you 2 first-round picks for your number 5 overall pick. We want Derek Queen, or we want Trey Johnson, or we want Asa Newell, or whatever it is, right? Be aggressive, because aggressive is the plan that you're putting forth right now. That's the road that you're on. And you want to know when that plan works? If you trade up and you get a top 5 pick, and all of a sudden we're sitting here in 2 years and you're like, we got our guy. You know, Derek Queen's a dog. He's amazing. He's a top 3 big man in the NBA right now. Nobody cares if you don't have that first round pick the next year. It takes you getting one player right, 1 star right, for your entire view of your franchise to change. Look at Minnesota. For the entire view of the franchise to change, takes getting 1 star right. Get the star right. Get the big name. Be aggressive. Whatever it is, because that is the only plan that makes sense for this weird plan that you're trying to run here. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Do you think the Bulls should be aggressive? Do you think the Bulls have a core in place? I'll be down in the comments talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. See you, Red Nation. Stand up. Peace.